Charlie Kirk and other conservatives are slamming PBS for celebrating Pride Month.
It all started with a social media post from Sesame Street. Take a look. The official Sesame Street account posting this illustration saying, quote, "On our street, everyone is welcome. Together, let's build a world where every person and family feels loved and respected for who they are. Happy Pride Month."
Conservative podcaster Michael Knowles was having none of that. He responded with, quote, "Nothing to see here, just a publicly funded puppet show promoting weird sex stuff. It's your 3-year-old. And Charlie Kirk fired his own shot saying, "We must defund PBS and NPR immediately. No excuses, GOP."
In response, many took to Blue Sky and X to defend the show and thanked them, posting messages like, quote, "Good on Sesame Street," and quote, "I love that Sesame Street stays unbothered," and "continue to be awesome." So far, there's been no response from the backlash from Sesame Street or PBS. So we'll just see what happens there. This conversation is such a manufactured culture war. Recognizing pride is not grooming. Sesame Street has always been a place that discusses inclusion. It's also not sex. Discussing that people date each other is not sex. And so empathy, acceptance, and people shaking hands, it's colorful hands shaking on a post, and that's what they're getting riled up about. There's so many things to actually rile people up in this world.
Don't you other things me.
No, this
defund it. I would defund it.
I told you yesterday
now.
that, just like I said, I don't like that in both sides of the aisle, we overuse this term, calling people a Nazi or anything dramatic like that. I don't like overusing the term grooming for something like a Sesame Street post, because that actually happens to real children. It's actually a dangerous thing, and this is not what's happening here. So everything doesn't have to be the most extreme example. Just because you don't live the lifestyle, okay, so then you don't be a gay person, you don't be in the LGBTQ community. How does it affect you to allow PBS to explain that?
Because they have to pay for it. Because they have to pay for it, Lindsey. I agree with you, except taxpayers are being asked to pay for it. They don't want to pay. Conservative people who have the biblical definition of marriage, believe in that, don't want to have to pay for advocacy, political advocacy that doesn't align with that.
But inclusion is for all American families.
Okay, you would easily recognize this if the message of Sesame Street, let's say Sesame Street was run by religious conservatives, and the message they were putting out on Pride Month or week was, marriage is between one man and a woman, and same-sexual behavior is degenerate and wrong. Let's say that was the message. Would you, a liberal person, want to have your tax dollars going to fund that message?
No,
of course
that's
not.
not the same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
Seeing, no, Robby. It's like shake my hand. It's like seeing a white and a black hand on a screen, right? Okay. That means that back in the day, that was not appropriate to see, right? We could not shake hands, and that's appropriate. There were laws actually against us being in the same spaces and same room. So if Sesame Street would have posted that at a time when that was the law of the land, then we would have said, wow, forward-thinking Sesame Street, because one day you're going to be on the right side of history. That is what Sesame Street is doing.
I would have said, don't fund PBS.
No, that's actual real life. That's actual real life. Like, inclusion is a part of our life. This is like manufactured. People actually live and go to school with people who like the same sex. That's going to be a part of your life. There's no way you can avoid it. There's no way as a parent you can protect your kid from seeing that in the real world. This is a whole entire world. You can walk down the street and see two men holding hands. Is your kid going to be swayed in some way? Like, I don't understand why that's a bad image to see and why we should portray it as bad. It's just called being inclusive and aware.
There are millions of people who disagree with you. Millions of people. I'm not one of them. I'm not a social conservative at all. But this is how a lot of people feel. This is how religious conservatives feel. And they're not trying to force it on you. They're just saying they don't want their taxpayer dollars to have to pay for it. Just like I wouldn't want to pay for taxpayer advocacy speech of all sorts of things. Why don't we just leave people alone, and you can have your liberal TV show where puppets, hold hands or whatever, and that's fine, and I don't have to pay for it, and other people have their puppet show. Like, nobody's asking you to subsidize VeggieTales or something. Like, it's just that's the religious
inclusivity is not partisan. There's nothing about inclusivity that's partisan. It's teaching your kid how to be a better human by accepting and looking at other people that may not relate to them in any way and saying, okay, I still respect and see you. That's all. Not I want to be just like you. I just respect and see you. And that should be a principle that we teach all of our children.
Religious conservatives don't. Again, I don't agree with them. This is not my view, but their view is that it is wrong to encourage this kind of inclusion. They think it is morally wrong. They think it violates their principles, and there's millions of people who feel that way.
Well, Sesame Street has done an amazing job at teaching hard subjects to children, and if this is something that's hard for you and your family to talk about, I think you're the exact audience that this is for, and you should sit down with your child and watch why people who are different than you should be treated with the same amount of respect.
I also don't think
it's a basic lesson for basic people who can't understand that.
Government subsidized children's education in the day of YouTube. You can go
No,
on
YouTube is a slippery
find-
slope. You don't want a kid on YouTube. Let me tell you, you don't want them just scowling the net.
There's the
on
YouTube. There's a YouTube Kids branch where you can just have them on there. Where there's great programming for children. I have a million nieces and nephews that they show me interesting programs for kids that are really well crafted narratives and teach good important lessons and have compelling characters. It's so much better than what government puts together.
There's a simple solution. If you don't like what you see, you can change the channel. You can do anything else.
But you have to still
could
pay for it?
The government is paying for it. You're not really
So where do
affected in
we
any
get
real
there?
way. Like, come on, you're not.
You are
no one's-
affected.
No one's affected in any deep
That's
way.
all they're
PBS
saying.
is not taking
Nobody's
their
saying,
actual.
if
like,
Charlie
no,
Kirk and Michael Knowles were
tariffs-
saying make
tariffs
PBS
are affecting
illegal,
your pockets.
then we would be
There's
on
so
the
many
same
other
side.
things
They're just
affecting
saying
your
you don't
pocket.
want to pay for it.
No, I think it's fine to teach kids how to be good people. We need more good people in this world, and then we
think
wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now.
That's a kind of a Mott and Bailey argument where you're saying it's just teaching kids to be good people when the actual message of it is not just be
No,
good
it's
people,
teaching
but
kids
that
to
you
be
should
aware that
accept
there's different people than you,
and that you should
just
be accepting.
No,
of it.
just acknowledge that they should be treated with the same respect. You don't have to accept them. You don't have to put them in your life. You don't have to be one. You don't have to become a gay person. You can literally just let them be, see them, learn that this exists in the world, and move on.
Well,
I don't understand
I
why
don't think
that
it's not.
offends
It's saying that
anybody.
it doesn't exist. I think their point is that they do not morally accept it. And so
Well,
you
we
don't
know
need
that
to-
when you're not, when you're not aware of what real life looks like, and you learn some things that are in the textbook that sometimes probably should be revised and that are just showing one side of history, then people are usually put in a disadvantage, a disservice when they don't know. And so I think just making kids aware that there's people that exist, since maybe some people might stay in their bubbles of echo chamber, that it might be nice for your kid to see something that might look more reflective of the world around them.
Could not more disagree. It's an echo chamber not to have any. They don't have any religious content on this program. They don't say this is what Christian people are like and what they believe. So it's entirely one-sided inclusion. Include me and my lifestyle and pay for it or else.
Just leave Sesame Street alone. It's a kid's show. It's a kid's show. Up next on Rising, is Short King Spring officially out? We're going to get into that next.